third FIH Global Forum for HockeryiD. We're absolutely honoured today to have with us FIH President Tayyab Ikram and EHF President and Executive Board Member of FIH, Marijke Fleuren. So without further ado, Mr. President Tayyab, I'll hand the floor to you.
Thank you, Norman. Good morning, and good afternoon, and good evening. What I should say is the most important stakeholders and partners in this very valuable initiative and project what FIH has undertaken. My very special thanks to go to Norman, that is a driving force behind it. And we see in a very short time great results, great growth in the whole work of HockeryiD. I am a strong believer that we have to interact between two IDs, that one day at one stage that our identification of FIH should be through HockeryiD. So we need to go to that extent. And I'm sure with the guidance of Norman and our chair, Marijke, with our team, Andre and Mike, we can achieve. Welcome all of you, and I'm very delighted to see all our continents are represented today. And it is an amazing journey, especially I think Norman can feel it from 4 nations to 25 nations today. And especially we are going to formalize these things, and now 2 of our major continents has already signed the MOUs with the Special Olympics. So it is growing in a positive direction, and I feel that we should not underestimate our work only because we are trying to bring HockeryiDs with its full potential and using our beautiful Olympic sport, hockey. I think we are more than that. And your work is more than that, beyond those potentials, that it can have a very positive impact on society. And if we really approach towards these people with intellectual disability, it can change. It can bring a very positive change. It's not in society, and it's not only community, but you can transform the lives of the families, that one day those young kids, and we can empower them, that they can have a control of their lives. And you are just a source. If we can make our actions more efficient in the right direction, you can make a huge change in the community. And we can be a very strong anchors of community-based sport system for them. We can motivate the families, and we can really change their lives. For me, it is more than that, that we can change the behavior of larger society towards intellectual disability effect, that they can really see it in a different way. So I can mention many other values that a good work can change and what level of change we can bring. Let's say one more time that thanks to our team, and especially our FIH staff under the leadership of Mike, that who bring us to this forum. And I would wish you all of you a very best deliberations of this forum. And just a reminder again, let's empower them to have a control of their lives in whatever possible manner they can. Thank you all of you, and I wish you very best for the deliberation of this forum. Back to you, Norman, with sincere thanks.
Tayyab, thank you. That's such an important message you give, that this is more than just hockey, that we're improving their life skills and allowing them to have a fuller role in society. We see the growth in the athletes from year on year. So it's a really, really strong message that you give us there. Thank you so much. Andre, if you could please just pop up the agenda for us to follow. Thank you. Can everyone see that? Basically, we'd like to run to time, please, because obviously people are very late or very early in the morning. But we'll give a brief update of where we are now globally, followed by some information for the lucky 12 nations coming to Berlin, and hopefully to inspire the rest of our HockeryiD family about the Berlin event. Before we move to the important messages and the updates from our continents. And that will go in that order: Africa first, followed by Asia, Europe, Oceania, and Pan Am. So if the various presenters can be ready at that stage, please. We'll have a quick look at the competition calendar as it stands at the moment for International HockeryiD. And then I'll hand over to Gino from Czech Republic, who is also heading up a very large EU project, Love is All, which will provide resources for us all to use. And then it's over to you. Any questions and answers that you may have, any challenges you face, we can share them, and basically we'll then pass over to Marika to sum up and close our forum. So if I can have the presentation, where are we now, please, Andre?
Just one more second.
No worries. It's really great to have 36 participants online from the 5 continents. That's really fabulous, and more to come, I'm sure. So what we've done here, and I want you all to study this and challenge this work, if you could, please. But what we've tried to do here is to give a sort of mapping idea of where we stand at the moment globally. Next slide, please.
Sorry, Norman, just a little
Okay.
glitch. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So we've come up with, these are proposed criteria, and I really do want you to challenge them, because it's quite a difficult exercise, to be honest. But we've tried to categorize our ID nations into 4 categories. The mature nations, and what we mean by that is they've been delivering ID programs for more than 10 years. They organize regular festivals, fixtures, competitions during the hockey season. They sustain a player selection pathway and development pathway to form an international squad for international events. And they train their HockeryiD workforce up, be that coaches, umpires, volunteers. Okay, then under the developing category, we looked at nations who've been delivering HockeryiD programs for more than 5 years. They offer their clubs or organizations at least one gathering a year, a cluster competition or a national competition. And this is where our relationship with Special Olympics is so important to us, and sustain a national squad to enter international competitions. So people in that column have already had the confidence to send a group of 10 hockey players, HockeryiD players, and their management team abroad. And then we look at emerging international nations, and these countries have been delivering for more than 1 year, but less than 5 years. They organize one national or regional competition for their groups every year, and they have the confidence, probably through the Special Olympics World Games in Berlin, to send a squad to an international event. But maybe there's no real player pathway at this stage. It could just be it's one group at this moment of their development. And then we said emerging national. Again, they've been developing programs for more than a year. They organise a demonstration event or a festival each year to give activity and for people to meet and interact. But they don't have the confidence yet, or the budgets or the funding to send squads abroad to international events. So using those criteria, this is where we, this is the answers we came up with. Yes, please, Andre. So at this moment, we've got 5 only in the mature category. 5 nations only. 4 in the developing category. 6 in the emerging international category, i.e. they're confident to send a squad abroad for a tournament or a festival. And, sorry, back. Yeah, 11 emerging nations, just doing it locally at home at the moment, not quite developed enough or have the budget or resources to send people abroad. And then we're looking at nations we perhaps should be targeting over the next 4 years to start HockeryiD, so that we grow to over 30 nations in number. And the final slide, please, Andre. And this is where we've categorized your nations at the moment. So again, continental federations, national associations, Special Olympics, please challenge this if you feel your particular nation is in the wrong column. But we looked at, in the mature category, Belgium, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Spain. In the developing category, England, France, Ireland, Portugal. Emerging international, Bulgaria, because over the last year they've had the confidence thanks to Special Olympics locally and the federation working in close harmony to form a squad to come to Berlin. Chile similarly, Czech similarly, Egypt coming, Pakistan coming, and Paraguay coming. A lot of that energy has come from the inspiration of the Special Olympics World Games in Berlin. And then the emerging nationals, where we're doing work locally, very, very good programs, some excellent programs, but because of distances, and if you look at places like Australia and New Zealand, no surprise, they haven't at this moment in time got to the stage where they can send squads internationally. So Australia, Malawi, Malaysia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Tonga, Uganda, USA, Vanuatu, Zambia fall in that emerging nations category. And then the final one for the continental federations to consider and debate and say you must be joking or yes, we can do it, is the final column of potential startups in the next 4 years. Bangladesh, Barbados, Canada. I know they've done a little bit of work. India, we need you. We need you, India. You're very important to the hockey family. Kenya, Poland, South Korea, Scotland, South Africa, and Wales. And I may have missed Sierra Leone off there and other nations who are on this call who say, hey, and that's why we want you to challenge this data, please, and feed back to us. But our aim over the next 4 years is to move more nations into the developing and emerging international, because we see how international competition inspires growth locally. It really does. Events inspire growth. We see it on the ground. Okay, that's all from that one. And I want to give you a quick update on the Special Olympics World Games. 7,000 plus athletes, far bigger than the regular Olympic Games. 7,000 athletes will be in Berlin in June for the Special Olympics World Games. And at this moment in time, hockey has demonstration status within the Special Olympics family. But we hope, after we've signed an MOU with Special Olympics in Berlin, that slowly but surely we can move to full recognized status over the next year or two. So a brief update of where we're at on the World Games. Yes, please. There's been a hard-working working group of Cedric, the competitions manager from FIH, and Linda from Germany as the assistant technical delegate. We've had hours and hours of meetings with the LOC and Special Olympics to make this event happen. So a big thank you to those two colleagues for the support and work that they've done over the last year. And the next one. It's a 6-a-side competition, male, female mixed, and we have 13 teams entered. We had a quota, hockey had a quota of 15, but if you bear in mind COVID intervened, we're absolutely delighted to have 13 teams in Berlin. Absolutely delighted with the mix across continents. So it's wonderful to see. And the next one, please. These are the delegations, the nations coming to Berlin. Belgium, Bulgaria, we never thought possible 2 years ago. Chile, first time abroad with their team. Welcome, Chile, fabulous work. Czech Republic, recently started. Egypt, the first nation from what we call Africa, our continent, but it's SOME in terms of Special Olympics. So Special Olympics, Middle East, North Africa, MENA, sorry. France, Germany, 2 teams as they're hosting the tournament. Great Britain, Netherlands, Pakistan, fabulous to see you there with us. Paraguay, a new member, wonderful that you're bringing a team all that way to join us. Really thrilled about that. So well done, Paraguay and Pan Am, and Special Olympics Spain. So there are those are the delegations coming to Berlin. Yes, please. And the schedule for Berlin, it's the setup of the venue goes from the 10th to the 28th. Training days start on the 16th and 17th, pitch time for the various delegations, before we go into assessment of the levels of each team, the divisioning process for 2 days, and then on to the formal competition and the award ceremony at our finals. At the start and end of all that, there's magnificent opening ceremony in the Olympia Stadion and a closing ceremony at the Brandenburg Tor. So it'll be a life-changing experience for all the athletes and the staff. Next one, please. This is a lot of data here, but I just wanted to show you that hockey is very privileged to be part of a massive multi-sport family here. From athletics, badminton to equestrian, futsal, golf, lots of sports there interacting. 26 sports, I think I'm right in saying. And the next one, please. Kayaking, powerlifting, roller skating, sailing, table tennis, volleyball, massive event. And you can see our competition schedule there. The burgundy colour are the days when we'll be playing absolutely competition, formal competition, and the sky blue Ds are where we do the divisioning or assessments of the levels before we put them into the different pools or groupings. Closing ceremony and everything there. The venue will be absolutely dressed up like we do when we're staging a World Cup or a Continental Federation tournament. But this is the Olympia Park Stadium, which has been used by Berlin for many years. And the next one, please. We play half pitch, so there'll be 2 pitches side by side. Pitch 1 will have 3 TV cameras on it throughout the tournament, and national German TV is taking several hours of coverage of the HockeryiD tournament, and it's fully marked out for us for the first time ever. No throw down lines or anything like that, all fully marked out. The next one, please. And we've had venue readiness meetings to make sure all the facilities that the athletes need in terms of warm-up areas and storage room for goalkeeping kit and mixing area for TV media work afterwards, and an area where we gather them together before they parade onto the pitch. All been worked through with the local organising committee, thanks to Cedric and Linda's help. And the next one, please. We're very lucky that we're part of the multi-sport complex around the Olympia Stadion. So you can see there in the pink, that's the hockey pitch, and very close by is the big athletic stadium where the opening ceremony will take place, and the football and futsal and all that. We're all very close together, equestrian, in that major complex. There are three zones that the Berlin Local Organising Committee have, but we're in the largest sports zone there, so very privileged with that as well. And that's it, thank you. Just a flavour of what will be a massive life-changing event for 130 HockeyiD players, their families and their coaches and management. If I can now ask, please, the continents, do we have Zambia online?
We do. We have everyone online now.
Okay. So Floyd, welcome. Great to have you online. And I'd like to hand the floor to you to give your presentation, please.
Floyd, you need to unmute your microphone and you need to turn in your, yeah, okay, your microphone is on. Can you just say something so we can check that we can hear you?
Hello.
Okay, wonderful. Great. Do you want me to do you want me to run your presentation?
Yes.
Understood. Just a second, please.
Thank you. Hello to everyone. Good to be here. So glad for this opportunity.
Okay, you're on.
So from Zambia, we start with where it all started from, which is the hockey experience. Just to run those that were not there, the last forum, it was a friend of mine who was youth ambassador to both the Youth Olympic Games, Samantha Mianda, who came up with the information that actually the International Hockey Federation has partnered with Special Olympics International. So we sat and she asked me if we could have a meeting with Special Olympics Zambia. And after that meeting, we decided to say, because we're still having some challenges with the Special Olympics by then, the director, to give a go to the MOU between hockey and Special Olympics Zambia. So we decided to just have what we called a unified hockey experience, so that we give the feeling of hockey to our ID children. And this was also facilitated by Samantha because she then knew all the schools that have ID programs. So after the unified hockey, we then went down because, of course, we needed fundraising and everything. Yeah, so the overview was after everything, we have only managed to come to a partial agreement with Special Olympics Zambia, which is more like for them, they want to see what this program can be. The new director now, they're saying they're keen to support it, but they don't know anything about hockey and they would love to see what can come out of the partial. So partial is like a trial, which has a program, and that program has come about after we trained 2 senior players. This is David and Maria. I believe Maria is possibly going to be at the World Games because she's a partner to one of the athletes from Special Olympics Zambia, who is Daisy. So maybe we might have Maria in Berlin, and maybe it could be nice to meet with the team that side. After that, we identified a school which we will use during this partial agreement as our first and hopefully not the last project with the children. This is a school for special needs children, and it's at Chainama University. So it's a big project, and we hope that it opens doors to Special Olympics Zambia agreeing to sign the MOU so that we can continue with the program. During this program, David, who is also a hockey coach, is back a bit, has managed to get funding. So for things like transportation and bibs and few other things that we can use during the games, Special Olympics Zambia have got a funding from Special Olympics Africa through a project that David presented, which he used the same unified hockey program that we came about. So we've managed at least to get the first group that we had that did the unified hockey to stay active from time to time. But we even hope that they could train even a little bit more, because sometimes it's after 2 weeks, sometimes after 3 weeks. And if we're lucky, we do it every Friday. Next, please. So the challenges, of course, is trying by all means to get Special Olympics Zambia to have this MOU signed between Zambia Hockey and Special Olympics Zambia. Also, which has been the challenge, is the equipment, because as of right now, we had a donation from one of our colleague from football who's running a football academy. They received some of the hockey equipment which had indoor hockey sticks. So we were lucky to have about 15 indoor sticks from there. And for now, because we're not going so aggressive and they're not playing with a lot of hard shots, they're just learning, we're using those sticks. But we're hoping that we could have equipment enough to just dedicate to this program. The training sessions, of course, are a challenge because the athletes are from different schools. And to try and organize them, get them around has always been a challenge. Also with the schools, sometimes they're not as accommodating as other schools. That's why we're hoping that if we start with Chainama, which is a bigger school, and if they manage to run through this partial trial project we are doing, we hope that all these other schools will be able to come in with open arms. The other challenge that we've had, and I've mentioned, is transport. For now, this project is being covered, and we hope that even the future project could have a sort of such fundings in partnership with Special Olympics Zambia. And that's why I think the MOU is very important. Next slide. So the future plans, of course, on number one is to get the MOU signed so that everything that we do would be under the blessings of Special Olympics Zambia and Zambia Hockey Association. To get equipment specifically for the ID programs, like I've mentioned, because some of the sticks that we are using, apart from the indoor ones, maybe finished at the end. So we're scared that this could be dangerous to our kids. So organizing training sessions from their schools, and like using OIDC to minimize on transport costs for the children, because to get all of them to OIDC is where the big challenge of transports come in. So we're trying to see if we have enough equipment, we could organize where we are going to their schools and like them coming to OIDC for every training. So we could only have them during like competitions, that's when they come to OIDC. By that, we feel like that will reduce on the cost, which is preventing us from having a lot of training sessions. We hope to introduce hockey in all the ID schools that we know. For starters, Lusaka, and then spread to the rest of the country. Of course, it might take longer time, maybe a year, 2 years, and some more to come. But we hope that in the end, we'll ensure the hockey is included into the Special Olympics Zambia National Games, because that's then give us more competition, and I think it will be exciting for all the athletes to be able to be part of the big national games by Special Olympics. Next slide. So we just want to say thank you for the opportunity, and of course, hopefully that there will be more support. Norman has really been supportive, and I hope that everyone could support us. I think I've seen a hand.
Sorry, I want to applaud for you, and I did the wrong thing, so no problem. And I only can tell you, it takes time, Floyd, it takes time. So don't think that you are special in this, it takes time, but that's the only reason it will stay there. So good luck.
Thank you so much.
Lloyd, thanks for all your work. I know what you've been going through locally, and that's a big thank you. And I think if we manage to get hockey as a recognized sport by Special Olympics International, that will help your local discussions a lot. We're just a demonstration sport in Berlin, so I think after Berlin, the climate might change for you with your local discussions. The big shout out from me, if there's anybody on the call who can help us with 50 sticks and 2 sets of goalkeeping equipment for Floyd's HockeryiD group, we really do need that. He's been asking for that for months and months. So please, if somebody can help, Hockey Foundation or whoever, that would be fantastic. Thank you, Floyd, and keep pushing, and we're here to help.
Thank you so much.
Fakanda, could we ask you to deliver on behalf of Asian hockey and Pakistan hockey, please?
Hello, sure, yeah. Let me just open my presentation. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So hello, everyone. This is Fakhanda from Special Olympics Pakistan. And first of all, it's great to be part of this forum second time in a row and share SO Pakistan's progress. And we are honored to be part of, we are honored to be one of the delegations participating in HockeryiD in this Special Olympics World Games in Berlin. Currently, our training and preparations are in full swing, and we have our regional and national training camps being held back to back. To start with our current progress, I would like to share a brief overview of recruitment of athletes and coaches in SO Pakistan. Generally, a big majority of our athletes are recruited from the special schools for hockey and other sports, and as we work with the collaboration with the schools. And although our first panel of hockey coaches consists of staff and volunteers who have been with us for a long time, as some of them have got great experience, we now aim to develop the coaching capacity of our partner schools in HockeryiD, especially the schools from where the athletes have been selected for the Berlin Games. And for that, we definitely look forward to the support from Federation and hockey academies in Pakistan. I am glad to share that in the last few months, we have recently formed venue partnerships with the hockey grounds and academies across different cities. All our regional and national training camps were being held across these venues, including small-sided competitions. Besides, we are also leveraging our current sports partnerships, especially with Pakistan sports boards in different cities. Then we have sports complexes of different cities, including Peshawar Sports Complex, and especially the current partnership with Pakistan Hockey Federation. We have got our MOU signed with Pakistan Hockey Federation almost 3 years back. And most of the new venues that we have got were the result of the support from our current sports partners, including Hockey Federation and Pakistan Sports Board. In addition to that, we are also working to develop the coaching capacity of our sports staff and coaches. We recently did some on-field coaches clinics during our national camps. And currently we have around 10 staff and coaches who are in our HockeryiD panel, working on the development of and other progress of HockeryiD in Pakistan. A part of them, we are also identifying school coaches whom we aim to train to support in school training. Secondly, as our first batch of hockey athletes mostly consist of veteran athletes, so we plan to develop a few of them as assistant to the coaches, and we have already started working on it. We have athletes as assistant to coaches in other sports too, and now having them in such meaningful roles in HockeyiD will add to our capacity to develop the sport at the grassroots level. Here are some glimpses of our coaches training and training of athletes and assistant to coaches. He's Faisal from Punjab. We can say is our first athlete who is being trained for as an assistant to coach in hockey. So we are glad to share that, and we would like him to continue his training, and we are hopeful to see him as in more and better meaningful roles in HockeyiD coaching in near future. Other areas that I would like to share with you all is we have thankfully got good support from Pakistan Hockey, from Asian Hockey Federation and Pakistan Hockey Federation teams. Then recently, former hockey Olympians and other hockey legends have also showed a big support towards HockeyiD in Pakistan. We have some examples, the recent endorsement that we have got from Olympian Islahuddin, who is also the former Pakistan team captain. With his support, we also got a training venue, and we also got some mainstream hockey players on board who have helped us to team up with our athletes and improve their competitive exposure. Then we have also got support from ex-Olympian Manzoorul Hussain, Olympian Saeed Khan, and other hockey legends, especially the development director of Asian Hockey Federation, Mr. Ghulam Ghosh. They recently visited our national camp 2 months back, and we are glad that they have demonstrated true support towards our athletes. Our national camp and hockey celebrities engagements have been recently covered in media as well. And we have also got the media team of Pakistan Olympic Association on board that is helping us in promotion of hockey and other sports in Pakistan. And we are hopeful that with the media support from their end, we will get good visibility. The HockeyiD will get good visibility in Pakistan. So the journey of HockeyiD in Pakistan so far hasn't been without challenges. I would say as hockey is an emerging sport for ISO Pakistan. We do face issues regarding venue availability, especially during the days when mainstream hockey competitions are ongoing or during school hours. So these are some logistical issues. Then funding is also another big concern. But the good thing is that the mainstream side of the sport has developed a strong base in the country. And with the support we are receiving from our partners and hockey bodies so far, we are positive that we are on the right track. In near future, we plan to introduce hockey across our selected specialist schools, especially the schools, starting from the schools from where athletes have been selected for Berlin, and the schools where hockey training has shown strong progress over the last many months. And we will also be collaborating with the venue partners and other hockey academies to host hockey competitions. Lastly, the resources on HockeyiD that Special Olympics International has shared with us recently are also a good resource that will help improve our quality of our training and competition. So these are all small steps that we plan to take, and we are hopeful. And with this, we are hopeful to incorporate hockey in our regular competition structure in Pakistan in near future. So yeah, that's it from my end. And if you have any question, please feel free to drop in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Fakanda, and what a great example of a well-run program. Really excellent how far you've come in such a short period. We're really looking forward to meeting you and your group in Berlin. That'll be amazing. So thank you for everything you do. And it's a great example, team, of Special Olympics running the programs, but support from the Hockey Federation as and when needed. So that partnership is so important to our growth. Thank you, Fakanda. Thank you so much. Dimitri, could I ask you to give your presentation from the journey Bulgaria have been on, please?
Yes, of course. Hello, everybody. You're going to run my presentation, right, Norman?
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, everybody. So I'm Dimitri Dubuisson. It's a French name, but I'm Belgian, working as a volunteer for the Bulgarian Hockey Federation. We're just a small federation. I would say that in ID hockey, we are just emerging country in the categories, but it's a nice start, a nice story that I'm going to tell you now. We have plenty of challenges, but we have a good start. We can start with the first slide.
Just a second, please.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Norman, but I only have the movie. I don't have PPT.
I sent you during the night. You should have it.
Sorry, I'll check.
Yes.
Maybe we can go to somebody else while I do that, and then we come back.
Or I share my screen if you. Yes.
That would be great.
Okay. Just share. Okay. Won't be long. Background. Okay, here we go. As I said, I'm a volunteer. I do that during my lunch break, and I work the whole evening on it. But this give control. Okay. Do you see my screen if I move it here?
Yeah, we can. Okay, we're now seeing your folder.
Yes.
Yeah, with that.
Wonderful. That's great.
Here we go. Okay. So really from scratch, you'll see ID Hockey is coming from nowhere to now this amazing project to be the World Games. So it took a long time to start something on this, but we are there. There's a very good start. The origins first, the frame that allowed us to start something about ID Hockey is in 2002. We started with the Olympic Power Hockey Committee and Association in Bulgaria with the National Sport Academy. That was the really start. You can see here a tournament in 2003. It was followed by the Special Olympic Committee, of course. It's very important also for this project now. And we started, let's say, thinking about developing, adapting sports and hockey for people with disabilities, physical and psychological. But although it was new in Bulgaria, it was only with a few results. So we had this tournament with only a few teams in Sofia, and table hockey initiatives was very fun for the participants, but that was more or less it at that time. We have to wait almost 20 years to have a real start. In 2017 first, thanks to the initiative of one person, one lady, Mariana, in a small and remote village of Bulgaria, in Dobrich. She started to work in schools with children having heavy mental and psychological disabilities. We can see a picture here. That was really the start for us. And thanks to this initiative, Bulgaria was contacted with this wonderful project, Erasmus project LIA, so Love is All, to be part of this wonderful project, European project, developing ID hockey. And I believe that it's thanks to her at the beginning that showed that we could do it. We had a wish We had the goal to work with kids with disabilities. And thanks to this program, it opened so many doors. We restarted in 2022, more or less, to be part of this project with Gino, and received this possibility finally to develop it, not only in one city, a remote city, but more officially, more widely. Of course, the official partner was Special Olympic Committee because they have much more experience and possibilities, but we were involved to form and train the ID hockey on the field in the second half of the year 2022. So not so long time ago, but you'll see we started well. Next slide. Ah, yes, it's me. Sorry. Okay. So there was a project, this wonderful Love is All project everywhere in Europe, but in Bulgaria we were nowhere. So from this project on paper, finally our executive manager, executive director, Antonio, who's maybe connected, went really in the cities, in the country to find partners. So we found quite fastly regional director of the Ministry of Education helping us, schools and children with disabilities ready to participate, plus some facilities in Plovdiv, that's the second city of the country, and trainers coming from football. We need some improvement there. We need some special skills to give them to work with hockey and to work with disabilities kids, but still they are very motivated. And we started from scratch with more or less 20 kids, teenagers and young adults from October, more or less. They were discovering field hockey for the very first time. They were discovering hockey and a sport, even social contacts for some of them, let's be honest. It was a big challenge for them. But with the two motivated coaches, Dimitar and Georgi, and also the best of our trainers, studying at the National Academy, traveling a few times per week. It's 290 Ks both ways. They go from Sofia, they train, they come back, they train again, other kids here. So it's unbelievable, this energy that we got from the trainers, from the staff, from our director also is there constantly to see the development. And thanks to this energy, now we kept like 16 athletes in this Plovdiv city, the second city of the country. They are training now 3 hours per day, hockey, only hockey, plus 3 hours physical training to make this dream come true. And we are on the way. That's the good part of it. Although we started not long time ago, we are on the way. Next slides. Okay. Thanks also to some materials. I won't be long on this, but thanks to HF for specific balls to work with them, bigger balls, special balls, adapt for them. We worked also now in schools with those balls with kids with some Down problems, syndromes, and psychological disabilities, plus sticks, because we don't have so much. So it's very important. Now that we are equipped and motivated, we have finally the first results. So we start really, you know that, because, you know, I did hockey, but the first trainings, some kids were not moving at all. They were just looking, they were stressed. And step by step, with individual work from all coaches, step by step, together, small teams, some groups, we started really to have a great dynamic. They start to play, and they play very well. They play with their heart. They're so happy to play in a team. They started to meet other teams from the regular championship in Bulgaria, making inclusive games all together, or just the joy to be together. No real competition at this stage, but it's give us a lot of emotions, and to them a lot of emotions, out of cries. Families, of course, are very emotional. They are so happy to see their kids socializing and doing sport. And I would say that we gained finally a few weeks ago some official national recognition. Why? Because we were invited to the capital city, Sofia, by the French Lycée Victor Hugo. It's one of the best schools of the country, very with a big name in the country. And the team was officially presented to all the directors and the schools and the community, the French community, the Olympic, also Paralympic, but the idea is to make sport for everybody. It doesn't matter if it's disability for physical or for psychological. The French community loves to give the opportunity to everybody to make sport. So they were officially presented to a lot of important people. And I was there to make, like, not a tournament, but we made inclusive games, inclusive little actions between them with students from this lycée, younger, but they were so happy. And you can look, maybe we'll see the video after, but on the right, Efe is 13. He's one of the kids with the Down syndrome, Down problems. And the first trainings, he wasn't moving at all. Then step by step, he became an excellent player. He scored during this tournament a lot of goals, and you can see his joy. We'll see the video after, but it's a huge result already from scratch. This happiness of the players, of the parents, of the coaches. They received the diplomas, and thanks to these initiatives in the capital, now we know that a lot of clubs, regular clubs, wants to continue from September on. So we wanted first to give an example, because we are a very small federation, as I said. Now 5, 6 clubs are deciding to start in September, training also kids with disabilities or teenagers, young adults, which is, I think, great. We'll be able to make some tournaments, championships, more activities between them. So I really think it's giving a kick to the ID hockey in Bulgaria, although we were nowhere 1 year ago, almost. Now we are on the go. Of course, we have challenges. HF is telling us not to say problems, but challenges. So we have challenges, of course, on the road to Berlin. We'll be there. We'll be there. It's already a huge success, and it's great for Bulgarian hockey to be there. But also after, we have a lot of difficulties. I won't be too long, because I want to focus on the positive dynamic here. But of course, for the parents, you know, it's hard for them to accept to leave them train and go for some camps more than one day. We have to work on that. It's new here, so we need to work a lot with the parents to leave us, work with them in other city, in other country, in Berlin. But it's going well. I think we will manage, definitely. But as I said, it's very new. Second is the finances. It's a bit hard. Everybody is giving a lot of time and efforts, a lot of volunteers like me. But it would be nice to have more finances and to have more organizations involved in this. And that's the third point. The local situation is a bit hard because it's new. So we are part of the Love is All program, which is wonderful, but we need also more support from the ministry, from ministries even, because we are not only sport, we are not only a social activity. It's touching a lot of different areas. We need more support from that. Also, we are working with a Special Olympic. It's great, but I'm sure we can improve the collaboration. So it's going to be my goal in the next few months to put everybody around the table and see how we can work even better together. Thanks for your consideration. As I said, I'm Dimitri Dubuisson from the Hockey Federation in Bulgaria. I'm a development and project manager. And maybe we'll see now a video, if it's possible, from this FA. So just to tell you, at that time, I don't need my screen anymore. He just scored a goal. It's a friendly game with kids. They're all together. They don't know each other at the beginning. And it's like he has scored the winning goal of the World Games. And everybody's congratulating him in French, small kids, although they don't know each other. It's wonderful emotion that I wanted to share with you. If it's possible, I don't need my screen anymore.
Yeah, I can share the video now.
Okay, great.
Can everyone see this?
Good for me. He's so happy. We don't hear here, but he was screaming. He was almost crying. He was so proud, so happy, clapping hands. I was the wonderful chance to be on the pitch, and he was clapping with the umpire, with the organizers, with the other kids, the opponents. Everybody was happy for him. It was a wonderful moment. So much joy in something so simple. So we have definitely to continue that. As I said, we started from scratch, but I think we have a good start, good dynamic now.
Dimitri, well done, and well done to your team. And it's great to hear that you've converted 2 football coaches to hockey. Eh? So that's fabulous work, that we broadened our workforce by opening our eyes a little bit, rather than putting all the pressure on our current workforce. So well done there, and I hope to see you in Berlin with the team if possible.
I hope so.
Likewise, keep the passion going, don't burn out. Keep the passion going.
Thank you.
The next one, please, if Jill, if you could present on behalf of Oceania. And thank you, Jill. I know it's very late there, so great to see you online.
No worries at all. Have you got the presentation?
Yes,
Andre?
I do. Yes, I
Thank
do.
you.
Just putting it out there now.
Thank you. Well, kia ora, everyone, and it's wonderful to be back together again, sharing what has been happening since our last forum. So you'll notice, and I just wanted to welcome Melissa, who's with us tonight from Hockey Australia. So she has just taken up the inclusion appointment with Hockey Australia, and so we really welcome you, Lil, to this forum. If I could have the next slide, please. I think it's really fitting that our forum is on tonight, because I'm at the moment at the Oceania Olympic Committee conference, where for the first time Oceania Paralympics and all of their NA representatives are sharing this conference with us, and around the table with their IFs and their continental and federations. And the whole key to our forum has been about stepping up and asking for all of us to create more opportunities for people with a disability to take part. And pretty much the last 2 whole days have been around how we can provide more opportunities for disabilities. And the key concepts have been about producing safe and enjoyable opportunities. And there's been a lot of discussion around access and ensuring that when we do run something, that we look at the accessibility of our venue and our facilities to make sure of things that like lots of steps and being able to get to a ground easily, and particularly where there might be rough ground, just checking that there's not issues for being able to get there safely. Equipment to be appropriate and modified. And just how do we get the participants there to the ground, and how do we do it to get them home safely as well? Next one, thank you, Andre. So at the present moment, we have 6 members out of our 8, all with inclusion programs. Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Solomons, Tonga and Vanuatu. And at the end of 2022, when we did our database and collected, we had 715 participants identified through different inclusion programs. So that Fiji and Samoa are going to start. They've targeted this year, 2023. And what we found that really makes the difference is being able to have an Indigenous development officer on the ground who can then start the program and continue it, but also work with other sports and work alongside and partner with Special Olympics and other organisations that can really help them out. So just to carry on, when we look at I did mention at the last forum about our very successful Hook In for Health program, which we have very successfully received funding from the Australian government for this. And one of the key objectives is around providing those with disabilities opportunities. And so we have partners with Hockey Australia, Australian Family Planning, Flinders University, and particularly in Vanuatu, a place called Wan Smallbag, where there is a disability advisor on the staff, which is really helpful. The participant opportunities that we provide through this program are free health checks for every participant, free lunch for each participant, and they're working every 2 weeks together. The transport costs are covered, so that stops barriers to participation. And we've been successfully training technical officials, and we see that this really aligns itself to this conference that I'm in right now, because the Pacific Games is at the end of this year in December, and one of the key objectives that hockey has set down is to have at least 2 participants who have a disability that we've trained as technical officials to be appointed to that tournament. The other news that has been really exciting for us today has been that because of the success of this program, these 2 countries have been rolled over for the next 2.5 years, and they have offered us to take up the Solomon Islands as another country. And so I finished a meeting with them 2 hours ago, and that will start in June 2023. So that's really exciting. One of the countries that I really wanted to feature tonight was New Zealand, because they have set up an advisory group under their participation manager, Tama Jones, and he's invited me to be part of that. And so that advisory group had been working for 6 months last year with setting out plans to roll out Hockey Without Limits, which is their national program, to start effectively. And at the moment, 8 national associations have taken up the challenge and have all got programs running now. With most of the programs have got between 20 and 30 children involved, and there are 3 more associations due to start in the next, are planning to start by July. I think one of the things that was very strategically set in place was the fact that, and I guess that's something that I would be challenging Norman on in his time, in his framework of mature and emerging, that we saw that training the deliverers was absolutely critical right at the start, and not just assigned to the mature nations. So in December last year, 3 days of training occurred for 15 association deliverers, and Special Olympics were involved for those 3 days. And that has given everyone the confidence to start. So next slide, thank you. Last weekend was another real major step for New Zealand in that we have what's called the Halberg Games, which is a national games for those with physical and visual impaired disabilities. And hockey was invited to be part of that for the very first time. There were 25 participants, and it started off, the first hour was little skills, and there was role model athletes there who were running those skill sessions, and it was then the last hour was small games. And so that's a huge involvement for Hockey New Zealand to be invited to be part of the Halberg Games, and we just see that as being a major success, and hopefully to continue with a lot more participants. Because Lil is with us tonight, I just wondered if she'd like to present this last slide around the landscape in Australia.
Thanks. I'm happy to quickly run through this one. So in Australia at the moment, we're focusing on some education, which is underpinning then the development of our programs. So we've got some hard copy resources that have been launched nationally and are available to all of our states and clubs to access. So that's been taken up quite well, and it's assisting to develop the programs. So we also have some online training that's integrated into all of our education for coaches and officials, so it's easily accessed by the whole hockey community. For the programs that are currently running in Australia, we have 4 of our states and territories that are delivering regular programs, and they're primarily based in clubs, which we've seen as the most sustainable way to run them in Australia. And these are mostly following HockeyiD rules with some modifications to allow for the different needs. We've also seen a number of additional formats that are being delivered with the adaptations to HockeyiD. For example, in Western Australia, there's a large community of blind football, and they've been trying blind hockey. So they've been cross-coding some of the blind football rules into hockey, similar with wheelchair hockey and power chair hockey. So yeah, it's going well, and hopefully we can keep developing in Australia. Thanks, Jill.
Thanks, Lil. Just in conclusion, one of the challenges that we see as a result of where we're at now, and particularly, you know, because I'm heavily involved in the Hook for Health project, seeing some of the difficulties, and that's mainly around because of the pandemic, signing the MOUs, and we hope that that can be overcome this year, and so that we can, I know that Hockey New Zealand are already in conversation to have an MOU signed with their counterparts in New Zealand, and Papua New Guinea will also get theirs signed. So we hope to have all of the Hook for Health 3 countries signed up before the end of the year. The other issue that we have is obviously in weather-related issues, and unfortunately Vanuatu, which is was a country that I highlighted in the last forum, has been devastated in early March with a cyclone, and unfortunately both of our development officers' houses were destroyed, and along with the pitch at Smallbag is completely ripped apart. And so we're just giving them as much support as we can at the present moment. The costs of travel, obviously for us, for internationally is just a real burden and a real difficulty, and so we would see that we will look to develop our own competition streams within our national and now that, say, in New Zealand, where there are associations, there will be 10 associations all playing, and we see that that would be an opportunity to have competitions, but that between associations that are living closely together, and also then to pick up on events like the Pacific Games and some of the Oceania events, where we could then put a competition beside that. And we really are focused on giving opportunities for technical officials from those people with disabilities. So that gives you an overview of where we're at. And thank you all very much. I really enjoyed listening to your stories tonight.
Great work, Oceania. Great to see all the Pacific Islands so active, and the two large hockey nations of Australia and New Zealand. You'll be pleased to know that Australia, you're hosting the Special Olympics World Games in 2027. So there's a target to have your squads as ready as possible for that. That'll really inspire local growth, I think. And fantastic resources, Melissa. So if we can link up, you'll hear from Gino later on. It could be we can do something together with resources from the EU project that will help globally as well. So well done, everybody. Fantastic work. If we can hand over, please, to Pan Am representative Chip Rogers from the USA to give your report, please. Chip.
Absolutely. Thank you all. And it's been inspiring watching all these stories and feeling the connection with what's going on around the world. So thank you for sharing them all. And we're excited to show what we have in Pan Am. Do we have the presentation available to show? If not, I can show it. I'll share my screen.
Yes, we do.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Just bear with me a little bit.
Perfect. Thank you. So we're very excited. We have 6 countries right now in PATH that are somewhere along the line. So Norman, we could certainly add Argentina to our list as an emerging national nation. We're very excited. Paraguay and Chile are definitely leading the cause. They will be in Berlin this year, so we're very excited. And one thing I'd like to highlight about Paraguay is the fact that the leads are actually 2 international umpires who have performed very well on the stage in their own craft as umpires, but are certainly leading the charge in Paraguay. So it's a great opportunity to see how the hockey family is really coming together from multiple sources, and not just leaning on coaches, but umpires as well, which is important. But again, Paraguay and Chile, again, will both be representing PATH in Berlin. And Chile will also be the host of the Pan Am Games. We'll get to that a little bit later. But as you can see, Argentina has started some programming as well. We know Canada is having some action. Barbados is getting started, and they actually just hosted a very successful Pan Am Cup or Pan Am Games. This just finished yesterday, but they had a number of athletes in attendance down there at the Pan Am Games, which is a wonderful opportunity for all the communities to get together in hockey. Here in the U.S., we had our first para-hockey showcase on March 4th. We had 4 teams, and it was part of our National Indoor Championships. and 4 clubs were there. We actually paused the entire tournament so that all the participants could come and watch. Really an incredible showing from four teams. We have, again, 4 clubs active right now, and so they have been really the leads of their own, who have been driving the force on their own, really. And U.S. Hockey has come in behind to start supporting this and start organizing this, so that we are going to have a national championship for them, national opportunity for them over the next couple of years. And it's always in conjunction with some other activities that we're doing. So trying to really make sure that the inclusivity is part of the entire hockey family in the country to be able to watch. So if we can move on to the next slide, please. We did sign a cooperation agreement with Special Olympics just last month. Laura was very good to take the lead on that. And we are looking to host, again, a demo at the Pan Am Games in Santiago. And a very fortunate fact that Chile is kind of our lead. Chile and Paraguay are leading the cause for PATH. It's going to be in conjunction with the Pan Am Games. And I think that's important because we're trying to really showcase the idea, the fact that hockey is for all. And so by having in conjunction with the games, it's really a very positive statement for us. Actually, tonight, we are hosting a HockeyiD webinar here in the States, so about 12 hours from now, to get more people involved as well. And we'll have some representatives from PATH there as well. We're trying to get more information out to as many people as possible. The more communication we have, the more information we can share. We're hoping to spark some interest. Already, we've had a couple additional clubs from the U.S. Reach out to us about starting their own programs around the country. So we're very excited the fact that hopefully next year we'll have about 7 clubs, and then from that, we're hoping to send some of our athletes down to the Pan Am Games in Santiago later this year. So it'll be the end of October that's taking place. And then we are hosting a development workshop for HockeyiD as part of Congress for PATH, which would take place just before the games. So most of us are in the emerging national stage, quite frankly, but we're hoping to kind of move that forward a little bit. We've got places like Paraguay and Chile who are kind of, like I said, leading the forefront, but excited the fact that nations like Barbados are coming along and starting to develop as well. During our event in March, we were training some umpires who were there to help manage the games, which was great. So we had some coach training, some umpire training, and some technical delegate training technical officer training while part of the entire event. So that was a big initiative for us so that we can start to become a little bit more self-sufficient with the clubs so that they can start running some of their own events, and then hopefully getting them to come together over the course of the year. We'll have one more big event at the end of November in Florida, and our hope is the fact that we'll have 6 clubs there who are ready to bring their athletes down with the coaches and with umpires there to participate in that event. So that's kind of a snapshot of what's going on both in the U.S. And in PATH right now.
Thanks ever so much, Chip. Great to see the MOU signed. I hear that there's a strong possibility that Special Olympics Latin America will be running a demonstration, Argentina, Chile, Paraguay, next year as part of their regional games. So that'll be another showcase for HockeyiD for you. And just to answer a couple of your challenges there, at the moment, we've set internationally a format of 6v6, so that if we move indoor, it's 6-a-side. If we're outdoors, it's 6-a-side. Squad of 10. Now, when we set that, we had some resistance, so we'll always keep reviewing that because originally we were 7v7. But at the moment, the international format is 6v6, and that allows for budget things. You only need 10 players rather than 12 players, etc., etc.
when we ran our tournament, we were more excited just to have the athletes participating and not so much about numbers. But obviously, as we're focusing in, again, looking towards the Special Olympics and looking for more formalized competitions, we're getting to there. But we had, I can tell you, the stands were absolutely packed, and it was wonderful to see all the athletes who were there for our national championships cheering on these young athletes. And it was, and we had ages from really 7 all the way up to 21, which was great. Just the sheer numbers for us. So
that's great awareness building, using it as a demo event during that major event. So well done, Pan Am, well done, America. Can we move on now, please, to the competition calendar? Share the competition calendar. Please, Andre.
Yep.
Anybody with any questions, there's time at the end to ask questions of the Continental Federation reps or myself or anybody you wish to. Gino, who'll be presenting shortly as well. We just wanted to give you a flavour of what festivals and international events are out there at the moment. So this is the 2023 calendar. Basically, the line at the top is where we are now. We had an invitation to the Virtus Global Games. For those new to us, this family, Virtus is the elite end of the sport, very closely linked with the IPC, and they did invite us to do an indoor event as part of their World Games in Vichy in June this year. But with everything else that's happening in Europe this year, with Berlin Special Olympics World Games and the Mönchengladbach European Championships, understandably, we had workforce pressure, budget pressures and everything, so we had to withdraw from that one. We already heard about the World Games in Berlin, and then the European family are very lucky to have their international continental championships in Mönchengladbach in July 2025, when 10 nations will be coming together to try and win that championship. And then Europe run a continental forum every December based in Brussels. If we move on to the 2024 proposals, please, Andre. This is what we've got in the calendar at the moment. We'll have our next global forum in March next year, where you can share ideas again. Italy are looking to stage a specific Down syndrome format in May in Rome, 5-a-side on a quarter pitch format for C21 category Down syndrome players. And then we're very, very fortunate, due to our stronger relationships with Special Olympics Netherlands, that 12 nations will be invited to their national games on the 14th to the 16th of June in Breda. That's a massive event with many, many sports, 2,500–3,000 athletes. It's a wonderful occasion and a wonderful opportunity for our hockey athletes. And then, as I mentioned to Chip, we're hearing from Armando of Special Olympics Solar that 3 nations will demonstrate our sport in October in Paraguay before we go on to our next forum for Europe in December. Just at the bottom of that, and we'll share these documents with you so you don't have to write anything down. Just log into your calendar, the European Championships 2025. We all must strive, if we want to be really inclusive, for a HockeyiD World Cup in 2026. And that means we need continental qualifiers in 2025. A big ask, but let's push for it. And then Virtus have offered us an opportunity in June 2026. Again, that clash, which I'm debating with them, can't we move out, move the calendar so there's less pressure on people. But Virtus Summer Games are in Turkey in 2026 of June, and their global games, a venue to be decided in June 2027, before we move to Australia for the, well, we hope, if we're still part of the Special Olympics World Games, in 2027, probably in Perth, Australia. So some dates for your diary and some opportunities. And I hope when we meet next year and the year after that this is less European orientated and far more global in its outlook. So please start to give competition opportunities and please share your demo events. They're just as important inspiring people as major events like this. Just a comment that Linda's made, we have to use the term field hockey when we're working with Special Olympics because they have floor hockey, they have various other types of hockey, and ice hockey obviously is, as Chip will know, that's what hockey means in America and Canada, and some parts of East Europe as well. So that's why we call it field hockey when we move to Special Olympics. But now I want to give the floor to Gino, who's led the EU project, which I think you'll all agree when you've heard Gino's presentation is going to be massively important to our future growth. So Gino, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Norman. Andre, if you can help with the presentation, please. Thank you very much. And thank you, Norman, for the invite. And big compliments to everybody here in the forum for all the energy you put in it. We're running an Erasmus program which is called Love Is All. I think I don't have to explain why we choose for this title, but just a fun fact, the title is coming from a song from Roger Glover. So if you want to have a good mood today, go to YouTube, type Love Is All and Roger Glover, and you'll have a nice song, which is also the official anthem, which we're using at the moment. And it's what we want to do with this program. This is a development program. It's funded by Brussels, so it's a European program. At the same time, of course, we would like this, all the outputs which we're going to make, we would like this to be available for everybody in the world. So if you can go to the next slide, Andre, you will see the partners who are working on this project together to make this happen. And in a second, I will show what we're going to put together. Although these are the official partners, of course, I would very much welcome everybody who wants to get involved can be involved. It is funding for the development, so we're going to prepare some outputs which can be used by you to improve HockeyID in your countries. At the same time, it will mainly be built also on the experiences in your country. So it will be impossible to take everything into account and all the good work, but we're trying to collect from all the materials which we have, which we can find, to put something together which can help us to grow together. So Andre, if you can go to the next one, please. So in the end, this is the ID, or HockeyID, sorry, not ID Hockey, HockeyID toolkit, which we're going to produce, and I would shortly like to take you through. There are 4 components. So the grassroots model. So the grassroots model is a kind of a manual or some guidelines, some help for countries who are just starting. So whenever you would be starting, it would help you with really with the basics. So what is the format? What are the criteria? The format of play? What are the rules? But also things like how can you start? I mean, there's almost nothing. So how can you start? You can go to schools, but there's also Special Olympics. So these are really the basic things what countries who are starting, who have nothing or just starting, can use as a kind of guidelines, checklist. There are some examples there. There's some best practices, what works, what didn't work from different countries, from different people. So that will be as the grassroots model. So that is one part of the toolkit. Another part will be the coach development program. I think this you can imagine or much better, which is we for all the coaches, how can we, if you have a hockey coach, okay, what are the things to learn when you want to become HockeyID coach? But what if you're a non-hockey coach, like the football guys? They might have the good skills for being a coach already, but how do we get them to hockey, for example? So the coach development program will be a modular program to develop coaches as such. It will also offer some tools. We're looking at some e-learning modules and different things, how we can put this together so it can help to get coaches from level 0 to level 1, from level 1 to 2, 2 to 3, etc. So there will be different parts in there. For all the toolkit we're going to build, it will be in English, but we're also foreseeing that we will translate some parts in some languages. So also there, happy to look with you if it makes sense to have some languages so we can make it more or easier for some countries. Happy to look at that one as well. So that's another part of the program. Then we have the event manual. So the event manual is really about if you have starting from a national event, so you just have a few teams and you're playing with the teams, some events. So again, the format, the rules, but what to think about when there's the umpires, of course. There was mentioned safe sport environment today as well. So how can we really make that from a small event, a local event, to a more national event, to maybe a regional event, some interchange between some countries, and to an international event. It will not go to the level of Olympics and World Games, but it will be a practical, or the aim is to have it as a practical manual. And Natasha, who's in this group also today, is working on this one with her colleagues, how we can make this as a support. So when you're going to organize something, that you take this manual and it will really help you to run through all the things to think about. So that's the event manual. And then the life skills program that I'm actually also looking a lot forward to is also what Vakanda mentioned as an example, so that an athlete can become an assistant coach. So life skills about, okay, how can we help the players with practical life skills which they can use at home, at school, with their friends, but also in the sport. So what kind of life skills, how can we support the players with growing and growing not only in the team and not only in the sport, but also in the family, in the society, because I think sport can be a tremendous boost and a tremendous facilitator and accelerator for that part. So it will show some ideas how, as a coach, you can work with that on the players, and as a federation or as a club, how can you implement them into daily life. So we, I think also Taya mentioned in the beginning, I mean, the hockey is, it's a kind of a tool to help people around us to have an enjoyable life, to enjoy the nice moments with friends and family. So that is what the life skill program is about. And this this HockeyiD toolkit will be available via the website of FIH, also with Continental. We will reach out also to all of you and also to the regional or to the continental federations to share this with the trainers and with the coaches and with the parents and with everybody involved to use it. For sure, before we're going to have a final version, and you know, looking now at Norman, but I'm sure we'll find a way. Before we're going to make the final version, happy to share this with everybody in the 90% or 80% version, and happy to get any input. Also, if there's somebody here in the group who really is interested to get connected and to find out more already now when we are working on this one, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to get anybody involved. Last slides, Andre. This is just the web address. So here we're going to share the information, and here we have some information now where we are, where we're working on. The program is meant to end, or the first outcomes, we're working on the manual now. It is for next year, so some things might already come out earlier. It's just kind of a non-official version, because why wait with good things before we have it final? But the aim is that next year we would have everything complete and to be able to share with you. So in a nutshell, I hope that this program, it is from you guys and everybody here involved, and it's meant also for the hockey family. So yeah, thank you for many people already in this group who helped on this one. I'm really looking forward to make this come alive. And as Norman said, it is not fully from scratch. It is already working with a lot of good things which are going on, but just putting it in a form which is available for everybody, easy to access, easy to use. So it will speed up all the good things you are working on. Thank you very much, Norman, and everybody.
Thank you, Gino. It's a massive resource that's really much needed. So 2024, we'll share it globally, and we'll be piloting it September onwards this year. So we'll share again if anybody wants to help with any piloting and feedback. And as I say, Australia, those resources that you've produced look very interesting. So let's keep sharing. Team, that completes the formal part of the presentations. A thank you to the Continental Federations and Gino for their input. Have we got any burning issues that anybody would like to unmute and share with the group now for 10 minutes, please? If not, then we will move to the summing up. And there's only one person I know who can follow the presentations that we've just heard. And that's the lady at the bottom of my screen, Marika. So please, if I can invite you to sum up today's forum and close the session, please.
Yes, of course I want. It's a big privilege for me to do so, because listening to all of you gives again the inspirations to go on. You cannot imagine what it does to all of us being involved in the organization for years, to see all your initiatives and also to feel your emotion. So it keeps us going, and it makes, as Gino explains, that we can give a lot of more people an enjoyable life. And if we can create that, then there's been a reason that we have been born, I think, sometimes. Coming back to the different presentations, Floyd, I was impressed by your work, especially that I understand that going through an administrative procedure to get an MOU and to get recognition, that's not what you wanted. You wanted to work with the kids and the players, and you want to be outside on the pitch. Sometimes it's the way you have to go, but the good thing you are doing and working on the hockey experience already, you show that action is possible, and that's the best way to convince Special Olympics. Show them what we are able to do. And the way you were telling us, I was already convinced completely. So yeah, thank you for what you do. And as I already said, it takes time. I've seen a lot of new developments in hockey. It's nowhere from one day to the other, except we have heard in Bulgaria, she seemed to get it done within a year, but they started long ago. Vakanda, also to you, our compliments that you coming from Special Olympics are, I would say, pushing the train to get hockey in Pakistan involved. And we know from the other parts in Pakistan that it's not easy. So that you are managing what you are doing is amazing. For all of us, it's emotional to see the well-known places, Lahore, Karachi, Islahuddin. These are all names for us who are, yeah, famous and well-known. I met Islahuddin very, very often, and yeah, he loves hockey, and it really is important that he is included in the things. I think it's also a very good thing that you are using the Pakistan players as role models. That brings not only a lot to the ID players, but also to themselves. That the world is bigger than only themselves, and there is a lot to do for others, and that makes them a better person, I think. So thank you so much that you are doing all these things for hockey. Dimitri, where are you? I can't see you now. It's fantastic. We met a month ago, so it's lovely to see you back on the screen now. I can say to you, thanks to Marion, you started with hockey in Bulgaria in 2002. And I think thanks to Antonio, you can continue new. You have kids, you have a school, you have a training center, and it's amazing what you are doing. You understand that action, and that's for all of you important to know, action is the most important thing, because we can talk what we want. What people convince is the action, to see the happiness, to see the players. All of you, I'm sure, if you are watching matches, then you feel the emotion that's needed to go on. And for you, Dimitri, I can say your emotion and your pride were coming through the screen, even so from so far. So thank you so much what you are doing. Jill, always amazing to see you, knowing what you have done already for Oceania in the past. It's going on and on. Thank you for that. And now you have Melissa involved. Thank you very much for that too. I can imagine that the Oceania Olympic Committee have given you a big boost to show that they think it's important that we are working on their more opportunities. And that's what you need sometimes, that such an institution understands what you're going through. To read that you already have 6 NAs within inclusion programs is amazing. 715 participants. Do you know what that means? That is amazing, really. Also, I'm involved in, or not involved, but I'm informed about your Hook for Health program. It's lovely, not only for ID people, but also for women in sport, of course. It is so educational and so well done. It's lovely to hear that you also have now another country involved, like the Solomon Islands. Hopefully it will manage. I can hear that for you also it's a struggle to get the MOU signed, and we know that, of course, the pandemic has really been very, pandemic way that they destroyed a lot, but I'm sure that with your help it will manage. Please give to Vanuatu our care and our thoughts to what they done. If we see on television the cyclone in Vanuatu and see all the water, then we think, oh my goodness, that's terrible. And because of you, we know so much more than we knew before. So thank you very much for that. And Chip, you are very enthusiastic coming as a new person in, and you cannot imagine how great it is that you have taken up the job. All the countries you showed already who are involved, and especially you started with a signed MOU. And now you have heard today how special that is. So thank you for that. The next thing what I was impressed, and it's exactly the way I am working also with my equally amazing women project, is giving as much information out as possible, giving webinars, showing what is possible, let people think, and let the development come from bottom up and not from up to down, but from the people themselves. They need to be moved, involved, and then it will happen. Also thinking about umpire and coaching training, very important. Norman can tell you also that we worked very long only on the players, and at a certain moment in Europe we thought now we have to take care that we have the people around equipped and well organized to accompany these players. It's not that you come from the senior, say, Gibraltar, suddenly to the ID. You need to know exactly what they needed. Now, you can hear my involvement, my emotion. I'm really impressed by what I hear, and also by what Gino is telling about giving, say, the theoretical background to everything you are doing. And I know from experience how important it is that you have this background, that you have the kids and the space to think about the problems involved. And I am sure that he will make it happen, that what is now a European project will be in the end a world project. So use him, email him, phone him. He loves to give you answer and to make all of you better. Thank you so much from all of us, from Mike, from Andre, for Norman. We all love you and hope that you can go on. Thank you so much.
Thanks ever so much, Marijke, for your passion, and you've been a massive supporter over the last 10 years of this part of our family, a crucial support for us, and we look forward to seeing you in Berlin with us. Team, it's been a wonderful occasion. The sharing starts now. Please keep in touch, keep pushing, keep asking questions of us. We're here to support you on the ground, but let's move this forward and grow the family and grow the pleasure that all these families get from our sport. As several people have said on the call today, this isn't just about hockey. This is about giving people a better chance in society through our sport. So keep pushing, and thanks so much for all the work that you do. Well, I hope to see you all again soon. Andre, thank you for hosting it technically and for setting it up for us all, and everybody who attended in the evenings and in the mornings, a big thank you. All the best now. Keep pushing.